Okay, so remember I told you if it's with the x, you have the opposite effect. And if
Yeah.
it's not with the x, then it has normal effect, right? So on your coordinate plane, right, this is x, so left and right, y, up and down, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start with y, because that one's straightforward.
We go
So it's
5.
plus 5.
Yeah.
So up or down?
Up 5.
Good. So we're up 5. Perfect. Now for x, so imagine if it were just x squared, right, it would be a parabola, right?
Yeah.
If it were negative x squared, it would be, so if it were negative, it'd be like this. It'd be an upside down. So
Yeah.
negative, sad face. Positive, smiley face, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that this parentheses, right, is the same thing as just x, right? We just added something in.
Yeah.
And it's negative. So we know we're going to be like this, upside down,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
We're gonna go down to.
Are we?
I ask.
So x is left and right or up and down?
Left and right.
Left and right. Okay, so do we go to the left or to the right?
To the left.
So if it's with the x, so is it going to have the normal effect or opposite effect?
Normal effect. Opposite effect.
Opposite if it's with the x, normal if
normal
it's
without.
not. Right, exactly. So we're going to actually go to the right. So,
Oh, with x, we're gonna go to the positive.
right. So we're going to go
Okay.
to 2, right? And it's upside down. So we're looking at like right here.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that. Rough sketch, but yeah.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know the y, it's minus 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the x, it's 2.
It's 2.
1. It's 1.
So absolute value, what's the shape?
It's line.
Absolute value always looks like a V,
Oh.
right? Always looks like a V. So if it's positive, it looks like this. If it's negative, it looks like this,
Yeah.
right? It's 2 on the outside, so it's going to be wider.
Yeah.
Nope, smaller. Opposite, because it's the 2. So
Go to.
negative 4,
Yeah. And 2 to the.
like that.
Oh, just from the negative 4.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because there's no, so you don't have to go to the left or to the right.
Yeah.
The 2 here on the outside. So anytime you have a number on the outside, it's just changing how wide it is.
Oh, and
If it's inside, it changes which way you move.
Okay.
Make sense?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So parabola, right? This is the same thing as saying y is equal to x squared, right?
Yeah.
We just added in this minus 3,
Minus 3.
which means that on a graph, right, this
gonna be
normal
minus.
parabola would be like this, right?
Yeah.
This is a positive out here, so we just like that is, so it's going to be facing up, smiley face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be here.
To the right or to the left?
To the left. Oh. To the right.
To the right. Good job.
Yeah,
So
because the
it's
x
going to be at
inside.
the 3,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be like this. So then the question asks you, state the intervals on which this function is increasing and decreasing. So it's increasing from this point, from the 3 up, and I know it's x3 because of this,
Yeah.
right? So it's increasing for x greater than 3, and it's decreasing for x less than 3. But so she wants you to put it in interval format, so remember what that looks like,
Yeah.
right? And really this is, I would leave it like that actually. So from negative infinity to 3. And notice I'm putting parentheses, not brackets. I'm not including the 3 because at this point, it's neither decreasing nor increasing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just flat. So I'm not including the 3 for that reason. So it's, what did I say? So that's this one, so less than 3. And then for increasing, it would be 3 to infinity.
Cool.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So absolute value, remember straight lines, absolute value of x minus 1 minus 3 is greater than 0. Okay, so in order to solve, so you want to find the solution set to this inequality. Anytime you have an inequality, you have to do it twice. So first thing we need is the inequality by itself, right? So I'm going to move the 3 over and rewrite this as x minus 1 is less than 3. I don't flip the sign because I'm just moving it left minus or plus.
We flip it just when it's by.
Right, so that's going to be 1. We're going to solve for that one. And then we're going to do the same thing, but
positive.
With a negative 3.
Oh, negative 3.
So we're also going to solve for x minus 1. But we're going to flip the sign and make this negative 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can remove the sign, the absolute value symbols, right? So x minus 1 is less than 3, add 1 to both sides, x is less than 4. So that's 1. And if I were doing this in interval notation, that would be negative infinity to 4. Parentheses or bracket? Parentheses?
Parentheses.
Cool. And then same thing for this one, we can get rid of our absolute value symbol. Okay, we've got negative 3, we're going to add 1 to both sides.
4. 2.
Negative 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second one. And it's greater than negative 2, so parentheses or bracket?
Parentheses.
Okay, so we've got negative 2, awesome, to infinity. And then that is a union.
Yeah.
Okay, so they want you to find the inverse of this. So the inverse of this, right, so we're essentially finding, this is what they say with inverse. You might see like that. All right, so that's inverse.
Yeah.
That's what we want to find. The way you do that is you just flip it. So remember, g of x is the same thing as y, or f of x is the same thing as y. And we're going to flip the x and the y. So when we solve for it, we're going to switch that and that. So we're going to make this x is equal to 3 plus the cubed root of y minus 2. And then we're going to still solve. So that we need this to be back in function form, right? So we need the y to be by itself. So now we're just going to solve it and move everything around so that y is again by itself.
Yeah.
That's how you solve for the inverse. So we'll subtract 3, right? So we'll subtract 3 from both sides. So we get x minus 3 is equal to the cubed root of y minus 2. And then we need to get rid of the cubed root. Do you know how to do that?
It's like that.
Yeah, good. Yep, you cube it. Good. So then that's going to cancel. So we get y minus 2 is equal to x minus 3 cubed. And then we'll add 2 to both sides. Or maybe I should write it. So that our final answer is, that canceled, so we get y is equal to x minus 3 cubed plus